Good morning to you.
Good morning, Margaret.
You just heard from Leader McCarthy that this is just a wholesale rejection of the way Democrats are laying out this impeachment inquiry.
Margaret, you know what I say is we lawyers have a statement that when you have the facts, you pound on the facts. When you have the law, you pound on the law. When you neither have the facts nor the law, you pound on the table. What you just heard from my friend, the minority leader, was pounding on the table. It talks about the whistleblower. The whistleblower said, look, I heard something. Then people investigated what he heard. And the problem that Kevin has and the Republicans have is witness after witness after witness says, yes, I was there, I listened, those are the facts. That's what's critical in any trial. You wouldn't call the whistleblower. What you call is the people who are actually there, which is what Adam Schiff has done, acting as an investigator. And in the investigations in both Nixon and Clinton, you had a special prosecutor. They investigated it confidentially.
Right.
And Republicans said that was the right thing to do. Now we passed a resolution that says we're going to move to a public hearing where all the transcripts, all the depositions are going to be made known to the president and to the members of Congress.
When do public hearings begin?
I think relatively soon.
What does that mean?
Well,
it sounds a lot like what we just heard Speaker Pelosi say, which was pretty vague.
Well,
You've only got, what, 8 days
Why is it?
before Thanksgiving?
But no, we have not, time is not constraining us. The truth and the facts are constraining us. We are going to move as soon as the facts and the truth dictate that we have, which means that when Adam Schiff is determined that he is through what he needs to have in terms of testimony and evidence, he will then, pursuant to the resolution, submit it to the Judiciary Committee, and the Judiciary Committee will proceed in a manner giving the rights to the President and to the Republicans that exceed, frankly, the rights that were available to the minority in the Clinton. We were in the minority. And to the Republicans.
So do you expect all the public hearings to be wrapped up before Thanksgiving? Or is this going to take us well into December?
Margaret, you asked me a question I don't know the answer to because I don't know what witnesses are going to come forward, what they're going to say, what evidence will have to be pursued by not only the Intel Committee, but then by the Judiciary Committee, which has jurisdiction.
Right.
You know, Kevin is correct. This is a very serious matter. And I think all the American people understand we did not rush to this judgment. As a matter of fact, this went on for over a year. And both the Speaker and I said, no, we're not there. We're looking at the facts. We're committing oversight, which is our responsibility under the Constitution.
Well, my question on timing here also has to do with the fact that what we saw in the vote this week was not a single Republican vote for it. Why not take your time? Well, why not? I know it's just a resolution. It's not articles yet.
More than that, I think the Republicans didn't vote for it because Mr. McCarthy told them, and I've talked to some of them, this is a procedural vote. It was not. It was a substantive vote to assure that a fair hearing going forward before the public was going to be held.
So is it still important to you to have this be a bipartisan vote when articles of impeachment are actually put forward? Do you actually expect to peel away a few Republicans?
Look, I think every member of Congress, Republican or Democrat, ought to vote not their party, not their partisanship, but the Constitution and the protection of the Constitution. If they believe, and this is the answer they're going to have to come to grips with, because 80% of the American people thinks it was wrong for the President of the United States to be withholding dollars appropriated by the Congress for Ukraine's defense, and in effect saying, you can't get a meeting with me in the White House unless you undertake an investigation. 80% of the American people thinks that was wrong.
But this may hurt Democrats to have this be perceived to be partisan fully. I mean, if you go into, if the House goes ahead with the impeachment and the Republicans, as you know, control the Senate, it's unlikely that you're going to get 20 senators to vote to actually convict the president on this. So does this ultimately become a political albatross for Democrats who were trying to run in 2020 because they couldn't deliver on this?
Margaret, this is not a calculation about whether this is good for us politically or bad for us politically.
But it will have political ramifications.
It may well have, but we have a duty. We have a duty to the country, to the American people, and to the Constitution of the United States. And if we find, after the Judiciary Committee considers all the evidence, that there is reason to believe, probable cause, we lawyers would say, that the President of the United States has committed a high crime and misdemeanor. And now, a high crime, according to Hamilton, is an abuse of power. Not a crime as we generally think of it, but an abuse of power. 80% of the American people think the president should not have been involving a head of a foreign government in our elections.
And it ultimately comes down to whatever
Congress
decides it is. But I want to quickly ask you, to a lot of the country, this just looks like political fighting. And it doesn't look like anything is getting done here in Washington. Can you actually do things like the free trade deal? Or actually get legislation through? Or is impeachment just sucking up all the oxygen and getting lost at people at home?
Well, you know, we passed over 400 bills. Many of which
I see your list of all the bills here.
But you see my list and you're sort of smiling. Well, isn't that what you asked me? We have passed a lot of very substantive legislation. Major reform bill, trying to make our streets safer from gun violence, trying to make sure that women are safer on our streets, making sure that we have equal pay, we raise wages, we protect pre-existing conditions. All of those are big issues. And we passed them. And they sit, ironically, in the body that the Republicans control, and they accuse us of not doing anything while they hold 400 bills that aren't being attended to.
Well, I'm running out of time here, but I thank you for joining us here. We'll be back in 1 minute.